this channel. Finally, the time has come when we are going to have our discussion on understanding the yearly planetary movements in the year 2021. After whatsoever we have faced in this particular year, where we are moving ahead with this hope that 2021 is not only going to put an end to all of our miseries, but also make us open towards all the opportunities. So what I'm going to do in this video is that I've already uploaded a video where I have explained you the planetary influence in the form of numerological numbers. How could we decode the energies of 2021 as per our personal year? If you want to get a clarity, you can also watch that video as well. I'm going to mention the link of that previous video in the description box of this video. And in this video now we are going to focus only on the astrological planetary involvements and contribution to the year 2021. So guys, I'm going to divide this video in two parts. First part, which is going to remain common for all the 12 ascendant natives, where I'm going to explain you the major transit movements which is going to happen in the year 2021. And in the second part, we will try to understand what 2021 is going to bring specifically for you. Whatsoever planetary transit movements we are going to discuss in the first part of this video, how is it going to affect you as per your ascendant in a very customized way. So okay guys, let's just start our discussion on understanding the major planetary movements in the year 2021. It's very simple. Whenever we have to look at any particular year's theme, we always give emphasis and more emphasis to the slow moving planets, because they have the capacity to bring a major change in our life, to lay foundation to something very substantial which we want to achieve. So from this particular perspective, we generally give emphasis to the transit of the planet Saturn, because Saturn stays in one zodiac sign for around 2.5 years. Second priority always goes to the nodes Rahu and Ketu, because they also stay in one sign for nearly 1.5 years of time. Then the third priority goes to the planet Jupiter, because Jupiter's stay also stays in one sign for near about 10 months to 1 year of time. So first we are going to discuss how Saturn's going to behave in the year 2021. Now just because I have already explained it to you that Saturn generally stays in one sign for nearby around 2.5 years of time, but behind each zodiac sign in our Vedic astrology, which is very comprehensive, which is very layered and detailed, behind each zodiac sign there is the energy of 3 asterisms, 3 nakshatras, which provides their energy, their contributing qualities to the functioning of that zodiac sign. So guys, in the year 2021, Saturn is majorly going to spend most of his time even behind the Capricorn in the Shravan Nakshatra. Now you need to understand first what are the underlying qualities of this asterism, this nakshatra, which is going to influence the behavior of the Saturn, which in a way is going to affect all of us. So I mean to say, whenever we have to talk about the Shravan Nakshatra. So see, Shravan is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet Moon. Shravan is a nakshatra which lies in the core of the Capricorn zodiac sign. Now Capricorn has a region from 10 degrees to 23 degree 20 minutes. Whenever we have to talk about Capricorn, the first thing which comes to our mind is about organizational skills, about very career driven approach. So I mean to say, all of these qualities which you must have heard or which you must associate with Capricorn zodiac sign underlies and get kind of compact in the functioning of this Shravan Nakshatra. So the way it has been described in our Vedic scriptures is that just because the ruling deity of this star Shravan is Lord Vishnu, which in itself is a preservator, and the goddess Saraswati, which represents all form of knowledge, all form of wisdom, all form of learning. So the thing is, in the functioning of this Shravan Nakshatra works in a way where a lot of emphasis is being given to your discipline and moreover and your capability to access all the form of wisdom and knowledge around you. So a lot of emphasis is being attached to the listening. So now what is going to happen is that in the year 2021, when Saturn will be transiting this Shravan nakshatra, it is good in a way that, for example, rather than being very acting like someone who is bit nonchalant, who is not very concerned, or who is kind of bit unconcerned about the wise advices of the other people, your behaviors, your endeavors have to be receptive enough in order to understand the goodness, the wisdom around you. You have to be, get into that meditative stance where you have to listen to your inner voice. I mean to say, guys, had there been a planet like Mars, if it will be transiting this asterism, which all about sharing of the knowledge, being accessible to the knowledge, then we could have said that for Mars, being proactive could reap you the results. But for a planet like Saturn, which in itself represents discipline, being passive qualities, the transit of Saturn in this Shravan nakshatra could be looked at from the perspective that this year, something concrete is definitely going to happen in your life. Some good opportunities you're definitely going to invite in your life, even from the meditative and the spiritual elevation. This year is definitely going to be very, very eye-opener for you. But the only thing is that you have to remain open towards listening to the wise counsel around you. So this is something, guys, which you can associate as the behavior and functioning of Saturn in the year 2021. Now the most important part is that, see, the first charan or the pada of Shravan is being ruled by the Aries Navamsa, which is all about logic, career oriented drive approach. You can associate with it. The second pada of Shravan nakshatra is about the Taurus Navamsa, where the emphasis is put forth more on the organizational skills, about fixity in your your approach towards the fulfillment of your goals. But the most important part is that, and where Saturn is going to spend a majority of its portion of time in the year 2021, that is going to be in this Shravan's third pada. So now third pada is being ruled by the Gemini Navamsa, where a lot of emphasis is being given on the communication, about the resourcefulness, about acquiring new skill. And this time period is going to be from the month of April to the month of July. In the month of June and July, Saturn is also going to go retrograde, but it is going to stay in the Shravan nakshatra's third pada. So I mean to say, guys, this is going to be a time period where you can encash a lot from Saturn's transit in this Shravan nakshatra. Not only that, guys, even while taking out the auspicious timings, it is being believed that any task undertaken or started in the time of predominance of Shravan nakshatra goes towards the successful final completion. So a lot related to permanent victory, laying foundation for something concrete, substantial in your life, can be associated with the transit of Saturn in the Shravan nakshatra in the year 2021. Let's move ahead, guys. The next slow moving planet which is going to impact our lives due to its transit in the year 2021, which is important to study, is the planet Rahu. Now the case with Rahu is that whithersoever Rahu transits, basis your ascendant, it is being seen and it is being observed that certain degree of luck can be experienced in that particular house. Sudden thrust of fascination, obsession towards the signification of the house has been observed in the lives of many people wheresoever Rahu is being transiting in their house from the ascendant. So I mean to say, guys, in the year 2021, Rahu is majorly going to transit even within the Taurus zodiac sign, where it is transiting currently in the Rohini nakshatra. So a major like 3/4 of its time in the year 2021, it's going to be spent in the Rohini nakshatra. Now you need to understand the qualities which gets represented by Rohini. Rohini is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet Moon. Rohini represents all kind of civilization, production, allure, charm, good interpersonal skills. So I mean to say, Rahu, which in itself represents materialistic desires. Rahu has got that insatiable appetite. And at the time when I made a video on understanding the result of Rahu's transit in this Taurus zodiac sign, I already explained it to you people that this transit is actually going to invoke and encourage Rahu to attain the financial and materialistic desires which it always craves for. So I mean to say, in this Rohini Nakshatra, Rahu's energy is going to manifest in the form in the year 2021, where native is definitely going to make himself or herself financially stable, financially secure, and lot of efforts will be put forth in the form of attaining luxury or in the form of attaining comforts in the life. This is something which you can see as a form of probable results for Rahu's transit in the Rohini Nakshatra, which is going to remain from the month of February till the month of October. You can attach it with that. And when we talk about the Kritika Nakshatra, where Rahu is going to stay only for the 2 months in the November and December, there could be a little bit of the turmoil and the clash of energies, because Kritika is a nakshatra which is being ruled by Rahu's enemy Sun. And the second thing is that Rahu's way of functioning has got little bit of the wheel of illusion in it. There is little bit of the manipulation, there is little bit of the diplomacy in it. But when we talk about the functioning of Kritika, there is a very on your face approach, because of which there Rahu's functioning, Rahu's plans could get into bone of contention. But apart from that, for the major and the majority of the year of 2021, Rahu's transit in the Rohini Nakshatra could be seen as a very good sign for all the people who are connected with the fields of import and export, anything related to travel business, anything related to financial markets, anything related to art and mass media business. All these people can straight away get benefited because of the Rahu's transit in the year 2021 in the Rohini Nakshatra. Let's move ahead, guys. If you need to understand the transit of Ketu in the year of 2021. So as you people know that Ketu will be transiting in the sign of Scorpio throughout the year 2021. Now it is very important, because whichsoever house Ketu transit from your ascendant, it has the capacity to bring lifetime changes in the signification of that house. Any form of churning out, all form of transformation, being and becoming perfectionist in the signification of the house where Ketu is transiting from your ascendant, all of that remains possible whichever time Ketu is transiting in that particular house in your chart. Now the second thing is that behind the Scorpio zodiac sign, Ketu will be transiting in the nakshatra of Jyeshtha and in the nakshatra of Anuradha. Now you need to understand that Jyeshtha is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet Mercury, where a lot of emphasis is being given to attaining power, attaining some leadership role, proving your supremacy in the society. So I mean to say, let's say for example, if in the year of 2021 you are running the fortunate time periods, Dasha period, which signify some kind of attainment of power. So the transit of Ketu could promise you that. And along with that, when Ketu will be transiting the Anuradha Nakshatra from the month of July till the month of December. So Anuradha represents all kind of friendly endeavors, becoming a part of the group and attainment of your goals in a very amiable way. And you cannot even ignore the fact that Anuradha is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet Saturn, which is definitely going to be very empowered in this particular year's transit. And last, guys, if you need to understand the transit of Jupiter throughout the year of 2021, so I've already uploaded a video where I've explained that Jupiter will be transiting in the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius throughout the year of 2021. So till the month of April, it will be transiting in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Then from April till the month of September, it will be transiting in the sign of Aquarius. From September to November, it will transit back to the Capricorn, and finally in the month of November, it is going to move ahead in the sign of Aquarius. Now the good part about this transit is going to remain that Jupiter's optimism might get suppressed, might get completely surrendered to the power and the disciplined streak of Saturn at the time when it is going to be transiting in the sign of Capricorn, being conjunct with already placed strong Saturn over there. But once it is going to move to the sign of Aquarius, that could be seen as a very fortunate time in working hard towards fulfillment of your goals, of your desires, along with becoming a part of the larger groups. You can look at it from that particular perspective as well. So this is something, guys, which I wanted to tell you and share a sneak peek of the planetary general movement in the year of 2021. Now we will try to understand by making a blend of all of these planets that what kind of results they are going to bring in our lives in the year of 2021. Okay friends, now we will try to understand the impact of planetary transits in the year of 2021 specific to your ascendant. Now, as you know, the approach is very simple. Whenever we have to do the yearly predictions, we always give emphasis to the condition of the slow moving planets, out of which the maximum attention goes to the condition of the planet Saturn. So now what is going to happen in this year 2021, that Saturn will be transiting in your 5th house, one of the most auspicious trine house, and in a major portion of this year, Saturn behind the Capricorn sign will be transiting in the nakshatra of Shravan. Now you can decode this placement of Saturn in a way that 5th house also tells about your intellect. 5th house tells about all kind of pleasurable activities. It is a very prime house for students and also for all those people who are somehow related and connected with the films, mass media business. So now what is going to happen is that Saturn, which also tells about responsibilities. So this whole year you are definitely going to feel little bit of the pressure of the responsibilities. You might not be very much inclined towards going out, having fun, rather than working hard, planning on your strategies, planning on your career goals. So somehow your intellect could be occupied with the thoughts of your responsibilities, with the thoughts of how to proceed and how to make moves at your career front. Now the good part for this particular transit of Saturn is that your intellect is somehow going to remain very much accessible towards any form of wisdom, any form of good advice which you could attract from your surrounding. And the second thing is that I will again say that this time could be seen as very auspicious for the students. This time could also be seen very auspicious for all those people who are somehow connected with the mass media business. I always say this thing that whenever it comes down to Saturn only has the capability and the potential to give you something very substantial in nature, to give you something, a kind of lasting success. Whenever we talk about greatness, authority, power, that all comes in the purview of Saturn only. So in this regard, in this way, this year could be seen as very promising for you, where your intellect is definitely going to have strong endurance, strong forbearance, maturity to take visionary decisions. You can look at it from that perspective. Now the second thing is that now try to understand how is Jupiter going to contribute this year. So now what is going to happen is that whenever a debilitated Jupiter gets conjunct with Saturn, which happens once in 20 years. I've already made a video on that, you can watch that. So what happens is that although as per the classical text, Jupiter's debilitation goes through the cancellation because of being conjunct with a own sign placed planet Saturn, but the only thing is that Jupiter's optimism gets completely starved, completely dried because of the unrelenting streak of Saturn. So now what is going to happen is that Jupiter, which in your case is an important planet because it rules two of the Kendra bhavas. Jupiter rules your 4th house of inner contentment, inner peace, and it also rules your 7th house of your public image, of your relationship. So what is going to happen is that here Jupiter's optimism is actually going to work in a very concrete way. So now what is going to happen is that, see, being conjunct in the 5th house, so there could be all those kind of circumstances where you might not find that kind of pleasure in all kind of leisure activities, because whenever it comes down to all the recreational activities, pleasurable activities, going out, meeting friends, going out for drinks, having fun, all these activities are seen and associated with a 5th house. Now what is going to happen is that during this time there could be all those kind of possibilities that you might become little bit sensitive towards how people are being perceiving you in the society, in your close knit circle. Your definition of happiness could be driven towards doing something concrete, doing something related to your career, doing something which is actually going to give some value addition to you. So this is how you can decode the conjunction of Jupiter in your fifth house. And now what is going to happen is that from the month of April till the month of September, once Jupiter will move to your sixth house, in the house of health, structure, order, diseases, struggles, competition, so that could be seen as a time when definitely Jupiter is going to give you heightened attention towards taking care of your health, taking care of your finances and any of the challenging situation. But yes, one thing is sure, in the time period when Jupiter will be conjunct, Jupiter will be debilitated and conjunct with Saturn in the fifth house, there might be little bit of the thoughts of how you are being perceived in the society, little bit of the frustration regarding your career goals, regarding your academic goals, regarding your strategies and targets, whether they are reaping fruitful results or not. And see, this particular transit I have already explained that all those people who are connected with mass media business, who are into any form of speculation, like stock market trading, this time could be seen as still positive for them, in the form of taking calculative risk can actually bring and reap good results for them. Now let's try to understand what is happening and how Rahu and Ketu are contributing in this year for you people. So now what is happening over here is that Rahu will be transiting in your ninth house, and in a major portion of this year 2021, Rahu will be transiting in the nakshatra of Rohini. Now whenever we talk about the nakshatra of Rohini, which is all about beauty, which is all about elegance, which is all about comforts, luxuries, so I mean to say what is going to happen is that this time period, this year could actually create a lot of travels for you. Foreign travels could happen for you. Any of you people who are somehow, their nature of business is connected with immigration, travel, import, export, they in a way could benefit because of the transit of Rahu in the Rohini nakshatra. Now the second thing is that ninth house is a very prime house which represents your faith, all kind of religious austerities we see and attach with the prospects and the signification of the ninth house. So now what is going to happen is that rather than following a traditional approach towards religion, there could be all those kind of possibilities where you might seek refuge in creating your own personal opinion towards your faith, towards your religion. So there could be all those kind of circumstances which could emanate, which could erupt, where Rahu is going to challenge the existing norms and make you accessible towards generating your own opinion towards your outlook towards faith, towards your outlook towards religion. So you might come in contact with some new spiritual preachers, new teachers. You might find resonance in their teaching. So these all kind of circumstances could generate in this year. And one more thing guys, whenever we have to talk about Rahu's transit in the ninth house, that too if it is strengthened basis the zodiac sign, it is generally being seen that Rahu has the potential to give you lot of options and circumstances of Bhagyodaya, of fortune awakening. So I mean to say, this year if you played your cards right because of a strengthened Saturn in the fifth house, if your outlook is going to be very mature, very responsible, very visionary, fortune can awaken. You can actually experience all those kind of situations where you will see that luck has suddenly supported you in your endeavors. Now the only thing is that try not to question, try not to argue your father and any of the spiritual or religious significance carrying people. Now this could be teachers, this could be preachers, this could be astrologers. So try not to get into any kind of ego issues or any kind of arguments with them. Try not to disregard them. And if you have to understand what is Ketu contributing from your third house. So now whenever we talk about the third house, see, third house tells about your hobbies, it tells about your desires, it tells about your efforts, and most importantly, third house also tells about your dedication towards your craft, your skills. So I mean to say, Ketu in the first half will be transiting in the nakshatra of Jyeshtha. In the first half, and in the second half it will transit in the nakshatra of Anuradha. And I've already explained it to you that Jupiter being debilitated in the fifth house, completely succumbing and starving and surrendering to a strengthened Saturn. So you can look at it from that perspective that you might be little bit hard towards or little bit critical towards how much your efforts are reaping results. Let's say for example, if you are a content creator like me, any way if you work with your skill, with your craft, so you might be little bit critical towards your work, towards your inputs. You can see it from that perspective as well. But once Ketu will be transiting in the Anuradha Nakshatra in the second half of life, I can fairly assure you, you might make connections with some of the compatible people. You might run into all those kind of acquaintances, people in your neighborhood with whom your personality will resonate and remain compatible. You can look at it from that perspective as well. So this is something, guys, which I wanted to tell you as a part of the yearly theme, which we could look at with a very broader view for this year of 2021 for all the Virgo Ascendant people. The strength of the Virgo people are the virtues of Virgo people are that they are very organized, they are very perfectionist, and what is going to happen is that this approach, this part of personality is actually going to get proper support from the planetary transits and planetary alignments as well. Okay guys, now we will try to take up each category one by one, and we will try to find out what is going to happen at that particular area of your life. So first we will start with the concerns of your career. So now what is going to happen is that whenever we have to give importance and do the scrutinization for the career objective, we always look at the state and condition of the 10th house, which tells about your professional ambitions, aspirations, people at authority, bosses, work environment. We always look at the condition of the 6th house, which also tells about your daily work life, all those people who report to you. And we also look at the condition of the 3rd house, which tells about your efforts, your valor, your courage. So now what is going to happen is that, like the way I have already explained it to you, your 10th house is not getting a major aspect of all of these 3 planets, because Saturn is also not looking at it. Even if you have to see the condition of the Jupiter is giving its 5th aspect to your 9th house, 7th aspect to your 11th house, and it is also looking at with its 9th aspect to your ascendant. So what I'm looking at here, basis your majorly planetary alignments, that somehow this year you will be very much aware of taking right decisions. I'm not seeing any kind of distractions. I'm not seeing any kind of vulnerability of being prone to any of those circumstances, any of those situations which could create some kind of obstacles at your career front. So from the career front, I'm actually looking at a lot of travels. I'm looking at some mature, some responsible decisions in all those cases where people want to add up some skill, they want to add up some certification. That can also materialize. You know how to work on your skills to attain perfection in your chosen craft. So from all those aspects, this year can be seen as very promising for you, where definitely the transit and the placement of Saturn in the 5th house, that too in the Rohini Nakshatra, is actually going to give you access to all kind of wise knowledge, wise suggestions to plan your strategies accordingly. Now one more thing, guys, whenever we have to talk about the trine houses, see, 9th house is the house of divinity, but when we talk about your devotion towards the gods, that is your 5th house. So I mean to say, this year any form of religious endeavors, any form of bhakti, any form of devotion to gods can actually give you good omens. Could actually your inner soul, inner guardian angel can actually guide you towards taking right decisions in life. You can look at it from that perspective as well. Now let's try to find out what kind of energies I received from tarot. So from the tarot, the first card which came, that is of the Knight of Cups. So this is a very good card to come at your career concerns, career front, which is just giving us this energy. Your definition of feelings, of definition of contentment is definitely going to be putting your whole self towards your career goals, because I pulled these cards for the concerns of career only, and we have already discussed the house of love, romance, relationship, pleasurable leisure activities, that is being completely controlled by a strengthened Saturn in your chart. So that is the only reason what I'm looking at is that you will definitely going to find the contentment, peace in completely devoting yourself towards the concerns of your career. Now let's try to see what is the second card which I received as a part of the theme and the approach which you need to follow this year for your career prospects. The second card, guys, which came, that is of the Five of Pentacles. So now this card can be looked at that your fifth house of your speculation. Fifth house also represents your risk-taking abilities. So I mean to say, this card, Five of Pentacles, is not a very good card. It's like the person is approaching misery in the matters of the finances. So I mean to say, this card is just giving us hint, the approach to follow. Please, you need to understand how to utilize tarot in your daily life. So tarot just gives us indication and approach to follow, strategies to follow. So I mean to say, this card just tells about in any of your career front, while making important decisions where money is involved, chasing money is involved, negotiating any kind of promotion, any kind of new job offers, any kind of remuneration, you have to be very wise, very cautious. The second card, guys, which I received, that is the third card which I received, that is of Nine of Swords, which is reversed. So this is a very good sign, because had this card been upright, this card would have indicated towards all kind of nightmares, all kind of waking up in the morning completely stressed, completely fearful. So this card is reversed. I mean to say, we are not looking at these kind of deadlock situation, completely getting dried and saturated with your with stress regarding the matters of career. So we are not at all looking at these kind of circumstances. Now let's say, for example, if you have seen all those kind of circumstances or you are actually going through these kind of circumstances at your career front, so just get into this mode that the night is darkest just before the dawn. You are heading towards some positive results and circumstances at your career front this year 2021. The next card, guys, which I received, that is of Three of Swords. So this is again, it is a reversed card which can be looked at from this particular perspective, that all kind of in the matters of relationship, in the matters of where you have trusted people, which if they have betrayed you in the past, so all those people can come to your terms this year. Their confidence, their trust can be win over this year, and this year is actually taking you towards all those kind of relationship which are actually going to give you some form of some kind of value addition, and you can trust on those kind of professional career related relationship. I'm not seeing any kind of energies of it's like where people are actually going to betray you. So I'm not looking at those concerns at your career front. I'm seeing very healthy, very cordial relationship building, cooperation with each other. And the final card, guys, which came, that is again of the Devil card. So the Devil card I have already explained in all the concerns of the finances, in all the concerns of your career related concerns. This card tells about too much bondage to the materialism. So I mean to say, try not to get into completely starving yourself, depriving yourself for any kind of fun activities, pleasurable activities, and completely single-mindedly remaining preoccupied with all times with the thoughts of career related concerns, career related goals. So this part just tells about there has to be a balance. I've already explained it to you. Saturn and Jupiter in a major portion of this year will be placed in your fifth house. Now fifth house is the house of devotion, fifth house is the house of yoga, all kind of mantra siddhi. So in the fifth house, if these two planets are conjunct in your this house, Jupiter, which in itself tells about all kind of religious austerities, Saturn is the prime planet which is found very accentuated, very strengthened in the case of all those people who are yoga teachers, who are all kind of meditation teachers. So I mean to say, this year is a very good year for you as well to awaken your inner light. Do meditation, do all form of yoga. Seclusion can also give you good results, and listen to your inner voice. I've already explained in one of the previous video in this playlist that when we do prayers, we talk to gods, but when we do meditation, we listen to the divinity. So this is the time, Shravan. It's about listening to the divine, what they want to do you, or what they want you to make you do by using you as a medium to fulfill the divine will. So let's move ahead, guys, to the next category. The next category is of looking at the concerns of your finances. I've already explained that whenever we have to look at the concerns of finances, the prime house which gets our attention is the second house. and we also give little bit attention to the 11th house as well, which also tells about your secondary income, all kind of opportunities. So I mean to say, what is going to happen is that for your career front, Saturn is actually going to look at your second house with its 10th aspect. And I have already explained that Saturn's three aspects can be decoded as Saturn's third aspect, whichever house it looks. It encourages you to put more efforts. Saturn's seventh aspect just do its work of restraining you, encouraging you ruthlessly, taking out the best out of you. It could also create lots of delays. And the 10th aspect is the aspect which is the judgment and the justice giving aspect. So I mean to say, if this year you are actually going to take good decisions, if you are going to work hard, good financial rewards can be achieved. Even from the perspective of creating something substantial, like for long have you been trying to get your own property, buy some property, land. So even from those perspective, this year can be seen as very positive for you. You can see it from the planetary movements as well. And let's try to find out what are the tarot energies are guiding us. So the first card which came, guys, that is of the Four of Pentacles. Now the Four of Pentacles is just giving us this indication. This card is reversed, so money might lose out more from your pockets. So you have to remain very wise in the form of the money spent should not be always in the form of bad debt or extravagance. The money spent could also be in the form of some future investments which in future could give you good results. But yes, the red flag is that you need to give attention to how much money you are going to save. This is something which is going to be a central concern this year in the matters of finances. Try to, right from the beginning of this year, try to make a habit of saving money as well. Now the second card which came is that is of Four of Cups. Now Four of Cups card is reversed, which is just giving us this indication that in the face of any of the financial opportunity, I'm not seeing you in a laid back mode or in a nonchalant mode, because this card is reversed. I'm looking at this perspective that you are definitely going to be very much proactive in the form of identifying any financial opportunity. This is a good card. The next card, guys, which came, that is of Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands card came, which also came out to be reversed. So I've already explained it to you. If this has happened in the past months, where you found yourself completely alone, being dejected, being rejected, or being betrayed by people, so this year you can fairly see coming out with a fighting spirit and drawing the support of the people around you for any of your aspirations. And the final card, guys, which came, that is of the Hangman upright card. So this is a very important card which tells about spirituality, which tells about wise decision making, circumspection, and most importantly, shedding out your money, the category for which we are looking at, for some good humanitarian philanthropic concerns as well. So I mean to say, any of the charities done this year for holy, spiritual, charitable causes can actually bring manifold generosity, manifold prosperity in your life in the matters of finances. You can read this card from this perspective as well. Now guys, moving ahead to the third category, where we are going to look at what is going to happen at your relationship front. So now whenever we have to look at the relationship front, we always give attention to the original three air houses in our astrological chart: third house, seventh house, and the 11th house. So if you have to see over here, your third house is being disposited by the planet Ketu, which in itself is giving us this indication that Ketu is definitely going to, refine your friend list. You are definitely going to spend your time more with the people who are actually going to resonate with you in the form of compatibility or mutual interest. Now the only thing which is going to happen is that in the initial first half of the year, there could be all those kind of circumstances where you might get into little bit of the ego related concerns with the people you will hang out with, like trying to showcase your dominance, or in negative situations you might get completely outshined because of the success of the people around you or you're roaming around with. So I mean to say, the only one word of advice which I want to give is, try not to get into this mode of frustration, being critical of yourself. You have to understand that this is just a temporary phase, and yes, your ascendant only in itself tells about being perfectionist in all areas of life. So in the first half, you need to remain very much watchful and cautious of not succumbing to any kind of supremacy or dominance or power related struggle with the people you hang out. But one thing which is sure is that once Ketu is going to be transiting in the second half of this year of 2021 in the Anuradha Nakshatra, you are actually going to run into all kind of people who are completely compatible with you. So this is something, guys, which we can see from the concerns of your of what is going to happen in your relationship front, while looking at the concerns of love, romantic liaisonship. So for all those concerns, we always give attention to the 5th house. So love can bloom this year for you people, but the only thing is that Saturn is completely controlling your 5th house, and it is kind of transiting in the nakshatra of Rohini. So that can materialize, that can happen. That too important thing is that even if some love romantic relationship is going to happen this year, this could be looked at that this could be a substantial, lasting, lifelong commitment kind of relationship, which can also take the form of marriage in times to come. But the only thing is that just because Saturn represents your responsibilities, your duties, so those kind of circumstances could erupt, or you might run into your love soulmate while doing your career related duties, responsibilities. You can see it from that angle as well. So yes, from the socialization perspective, I'm not seeing any vulnerability. You will socialize, but at the same time, you will remain preoccupied with the responsibilities, your career related concerns, which will remain to be a theme and a governing thought in your subconscious, in your intellect. You can read it from that angle. And the tarot card which I received, so these cards are, guys, the first card which came, that is of 7 of Cups. So I've already explained it to you. So this year I'm not looking at you completely driven by unrealistic romantic thoughts. I'm looking at you approaching life with a very concrete, with a very practical visionary thoughts. You can read this card from that approach, that angle as well. Now the next card which I received, that is of the Queen of Cups card. So again, guys, I'm seeing you getting little bit starved and dried up of the emotions while socializing with people, and what is going to happen is that some realistic and practical endeavors are actually going to dominate this year for you. So like the way I've already explained it to you, rather than spending your time, if you are single, if you are looking out to mingle up, so rather than getting the nourishment for the time being in some kind of relationship, you will look out for all those kind of relationship where there could be some lasting success for you in the form of relationship, taking the form of marriage, or let's say for example for all those career aspirations, hanging out with those people which can actually contribute or do some value addition for your career related concerns. You can look at it from that perspective. I'm not seeing just all bohemia, all romantic, unrealistic socialization, alignment, romantic relationship this year for you. It is actually going to be very much practical, very much visionary for you guys. The next card which came, that is of 10 of Wands. So this card is reversed, which is just giving us this indication that if in the past couple of months, if you actually put lot of efforts, and those efforts were only from your side, one-sided efforts in relationship, so this year the degree of efforts and contribution and cooperation can actually going to be mutually from both the sides. You can see this card from that angle as well. And the final card which came, that is of 9 of Cups. So guys, see, although it is a minor arcana card, but this card holds a lot of importance in any of the deck, any of the question related reading. So I mean to say, this card in itself tells about the wish fulfillment. So I've already explained it to you. Even from the relationship front, for all those people who are single, this year can actually give you a life partner, soul partner, if your dashas are running in a contributing in a positive way. Along with that, you are putting your efforts in the right direction. Something substantial, lifelong commitment relationship can materialize this year for you people, and I have trust in my tarot readings. And the final category is for our students. So I've already explained it to you guys in the beginning only, that for students this year could be seen as very promising, very optimistic, because of your fifth house being very strengthened. Third house somehow also tells about the efforts you put, the basic primary education. We also look at the third house. And for all those MBA aspirants, all those people who want to go for higher degrees, they want to go to foreign universities, your ninth house is also being strengthened with the placement of Rahu over there. So I mean to say, for students, in a way this year is actually going to reap some good results for you. But the only thing is that try not to remain unrealistic, impractical. You have to work with everything in place. So your strategies, your plans, your grades, even if the subjects you have to take other people's opinion, take the expert opinion. So I mean to say, for all the academic related concerns, a lot of kind of contemplation and circumspect mindset is needed this year to get good desired results. And the card which I received is the Wheel of Fortune card, but this card came out to be reversed. So the only thing which I want to tell you over here is that the Wheel of Fortune card reversed just tells about the fortune this year can only be moved with efforts, with hard work. I'm not seeing this year for you, the theme of this year, with some kind of lucky breaks. This year things are going to happen with your thorough planning, with your hard work, and with your proper strategies being applied towards your academic goals. So guys, and the remedy, if I were to say, I would say that rather than running towards different gods, different remedies, whomsoever your personality, your soul resonates with, whomsoever you look at your Ishta Deva, whatsoever religious endeavors you're going to you're going to do this year in order to please your Ishta Deva. Doing yoga, doing meditation, taking out time to fix your breathing techniques can actually reap you good results, where nothing is going to happen. Your own inner self is going to guide you, your inner self is going to talk to you, and you have to just shravan, you have to listen to it. So once again guys, thanks a lot for watching this video. I pray to Lord Shiva that Lord Shiva's grace shall shine upon you, all your wishes shall come true this year. For further more updates and notification on the science of astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my video.